got a lot of good things to talk about tonight. I've got my friend here, Ryan Hoffman. What do you have to tell everyone, Ryan?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, what up, and welcome to the Hype and Cowl Podcast, where we discuss what's been done, what's done right, and what's just hype in comic books and pop culture. I'm your host, Ryan Hoffman, and alongside me once again is my co-host and fourth best friend, Jacob Fullen.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Thank you, that was really nice. That was wonderful. I was hoping you were going to say, what's been done and what's fun.
What's been done?
What's been fun?
What was fun?
Not what's fun right now. What's been fun?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sipping right now?
Dude, I'm slurping.
Are you big sipping?
Yeah, I'm sipping on it real good.
Yeah, we're both sipping a little bit.
So let's get right into it.
Because we are here for fun.
So Jacob and I have been anxiously awaiting.
Can I talk about this? Because I want to let everyone know how hard it's been. You know, normally we get right to talking about stuff, like immediately, and we just go for it.
Instantaneously, as soon as the news comes
like,
in.
literally immediately. So, we have now seen the Robert Pattinson Batsuit. We just didn't talk about it. We just didn't want to. We literally yelled at each other and just told each other to not talk about it. We literally punched each other.
We have, for real, watched it side by side.
Yes.
Multiple times,
And
without talking, just looking at each other.
Yep.
Breathing at each other.
Yep.
Gesturing with our arms and our legs.
Yep. I get mad. I go to my room and I just start screaming.
It feels good, though.
It
to
does.
finally get to talk about it.
So we do get to talk about it. Because we haven't really talked about it, I'm just very curious as to... I just want to hear it. I just want you to lay it out.
All right. So I'm sure everyone knows. But just in case you are living under a rock or stuck under the Gewog's cock...
And that's a scary place to be.
Just in case you weren't aware of the fact that Robert Pattinson, of Twilight fame...
Is Batman.
So this is a role that he took over.
Yes.
Because initially it was going to be Ben Affleck in The Batman with Matt Reeves.
Right. Which I still... Listen, I'm very, very, very excited about Robert Pattinson playing Batman. I think it's going to be sick. It's got some weird stuff about it, but all in all, I think hopefully it'll be very sick. But... I still will forever miss Batfleck. Always Batfleck.
Look directly into my fucking eyes and talk directly into that microphone.
Batfleck will always be the best Batman ever.
Don't break eye contact again.
How could I? You know, after seeing some set photos of Gotham City, what it's going to look like, we have seen some cop cars, and they look very late 80s, 90s, very looking. They totally could be weaving in his Batman with the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I think a lot of people were kind of bummed about the Joker not taking place in, continuity with everything. We've gotten to a point where, we've bitched and complained so much about movies not being a certain, like comic book movies not being a certain way or following the comics and all that. But it's like, that's what's cool about, DC doing their thing.
My opinion on the Joker is it has a place in both comic book movies and just cinema.
Right.
But... what would make that story even better is if you included fucking Batman. What I'm saying is that you can tell a story about mental illness in society from both the Joker's perspective and Batman's. Batman is also crazy. Batman was also subjected to trauma and now wears a costume and beats up strangers.
Exactly.
Like, you could have told the same story from two different sides of the coin.
Right.
And I just want a goddamn Batman movie. A good Batman movie.
I do too. That's what I think we both have been dying for that.
Even if it's some sort of like artsy psychological thriller, put fucking Batman in a movie, please.
Right.
So that being said, Robert Pattinson was cast as Bruce Wayne. Has it been a year?
It's been close.
Yeah.
I feel like it's getting pretty close.
About a year or so ago. Now, of course, when the news dropped, he was a little bummed because he didn't want the news coming out just yet. He wanted to surprise people. He wanted it to be on their terms. He wanted there to be a reveal.
Right.
But somehow it got out, and he was not happy with it. It was like, these nerds are already pissing me off.
I feel like that would kind of bum me out too. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I would want to reveal it if for some reason I got the role of Batman. But,
oh, for sure.
So I can definitely understand that. But
and it sounds like they had something planned. And then after seeing this costume reel, this test footage, then you could imagine that they probably had something pretty fun planned for their Robert Pattinson as the Batman.
Right.
Going from a Batman... to the Batman.
The Batman. The one and only.
So let's do it. Let's talk about dude, I've been stewing over this. I've been
angry. I've been angry as fuck.
I am so turned. Like, I am sexually
I hope
aroused.
you understand.
I am mentally stimulated. I am mind, body, and spirit, dude.
Yeah.
We're about to meld into one being. Are you ready?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
So this test footage starts out. It pans upward. He's walking towards the camera into frame.
Very blurry at first.
Comes into focus. First thing you notice is an armored bat costume to an extent.
It's very almost kind of Arkham Knight-ish.
So let's talk about the armor.
Okay.
So definitely, even though he's armored, still cuts a very, slender figure.
He's not Ben Affleck. He's not super crazy buff.
And so the armor, it's not armor like Dark Knight.
Right.
And it's not armor like in Justice League where it's like that double padded Kevlar.
Right.
It's more...
It's just straight up
it's ridgeline.
Armor plates.
And like I was saying to you the other day, the chest itself is in 4 pieces.
Right.
Because you have to imagine Batman is going to need to collapse his chest inward. Just imagine the shape that your body has to make when you're swinging from a grappling hook with both arms.
Right.
I look at it and it makes sense to me. You can see it moving, and like you said, you can see that the
shoulders are not connected.
Yeah, the
to
shoulders
the
are independent.
Right.
And even like I said, every plate in his chest, exists independently from one another.
Right.
You can see it rising and falling,
which
folding.
is fucking chef's kiss.
So once again, looks good. You can already tell that he can move in that fucking thing.
So the second thing, obviously,
the fucking insignia.
It looks very cool, but my biggest complaint, and I'm sure you understand, I'm sure you're gonna know, my biggest complaint, where's the fucking bat head? Where's the head? Don't get me wrong, it looks really cool. I have one other issue, but all in all, it looks really fucking cool. But where's the fucking bat head?
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand that.
It's kind of goofy just to have a picture of a bat on your chest when you're Batman anyway.
Right.
And I will say, that was my one argument for the George Clooney, Val Kilmer bat nipples. In actuality, Joel Schumacher was like, I just want them to look like Greek statues. I wanted them to look like gods.
Yeah.
Cut from marble. The one argument that I always made for it, for whatever reason, if Batman had nipples on the costume, I would say, well, he's not trying to dress up like a guy dressed up as a bat. He's trying to look like a bat.
Fucking bat.
Bats have nips.
Right.
Everybody's
got nips, man.
Dude, every fucking buddy has everybody.
Everyone's buddy.
Everybody's buddy's got a tit or two. Bats have like 8. So could you imagine if he was like atomically correct?
Yeah, and
it was just like nipples
for every ab.
Just fucking nipples down, dude.
Right. Just nipple down, dude.
All right, so in regards to the bat insignia, the first thing that catches your attention is the fact that symbol itself looks like it's mechanized to some degree. I'm not going out as far as to say that it's a gadget that serves some sort of purpose.
I don't think it is
Or
either.
that like you can just pull batarangs out of it like I've seen.
Very cool theory. It's very cool.
Yeah, and like
but
I said,
I would not be down with it.
We've seen that recently in the live action Titans show on DC Universe, which was also dumb as fuck. I mean, not the show itself, but just the fact that his little R becomes a stupid little shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that there are rivets and clips, and it's like, what is the deal with this thing?
So apparently, I'm pretty sure it's 100% confirmed that the chest symbol is made out of the gun that was used to kill Bruce Wayne's parents.
Yeah. There has been a theory circulating online that his bat insignia is indeed made from Joe Chill's handgun that killed Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Right.
Now, in the comic books, he melts it down and turns it into like some sort of steel ingot and wears it under his insignia.
See, that's my first thing I would think of doing. Like just melting it down.
Yeah.
Not literally just taking it apart and like shaping it into a bat symbol. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said, it looks cool, but I'm not really down with that. But like you said, Batman is crazy as fuck when you really think about it.
For sure. And I read that theory online before I was able to confirm that it was something that existed prior to in the comic books.
I did read about that today.
So once I realized that there are some roots to the theory, some comic book roots to it, I was like, okay, I'll accept that.
Right.
And that would be a wild inclusion in the movie.
It really would be. No one's ever done that before. It's just a costume.
Even if it was like a one shot or like a one off or like an Elseworld storyline where that's what he decided to do for whatever reason. I mean, it's still cool that they were to take something so out of left field. Yeah, something so off the wall.
Drastic.
So yeah, the insignia possibly might be made out of Joe Chill's handgun. And if that's the case, I mean,
fine.
How they're going to reveal that is what's interesting.
Right.
Is it going to be something they show? Is it going to be something that he mentions in passing? Is someone going to ask a question? Is he going to say, well, I model myself after a bat because I made this suit and I had the handgun and this is the shape that worked out for me with the components that I had. Kind of look like a bat. Now I'm fucking Batman.
That could happen, but I feel like the one thing that always lets me down in comic book movies is I always think of things like that. Like I'm like, oh, he's definitely gonna explain why he did that or but it never is explained. It just shows up and you're like, all right, I think it's just gonna happen and you're just gonna deal with it.
You're fucking dead ass right, my guy.
IG.
You're dead ass right,
Thanks.
Mima.
Oh, Mima.
Yeah, that's one thing that we're always constantly let down in regards to. Matter of fact, that's usually a make it or break it. Like, people walk out of movie theaters saying, fuck that movie, just because there was a certain theory that wasn't confirmed or a certain detail that wasn't explained. So, we have the armor down, all right? We have the bat symbol down, all right? So, along with the test footage, we're just going to pan our attention upwards.
Very upwards.
So, before we see his cowl, which I guess you could consider this part of his cowl. In a lot of iterations, it is.
You could.
Let's talk about that goddamn cape, my friend. So the cape, not traditionally connected to his mask.
Right.
People, and that's really what makes it a cowl, is when it's a hood attached to a cloak.
Connect to, right, exactly.
What's the first thing you notice about that cape? The coolest thing?
It wasn't so much the cape that I noticed first. It was more of the collar.
The collar, yeah.
The collar was just, dude, at first I was like, that's a little weird. Immediately I was like, never mind. I was like, dude, that's fucking dope. Like, that's the dopest shit I've ever seen, dude.
Yeah, real cool.
Really cool.
Real cool.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. The collar was super tight for sure. So there were people saying during the making and the design selection and everything going on, the crafting of this movie initially, a lot of people were saying that the Batman costume was going to be mostly influenced by the Bermejo costume, which is the Batman Noel, the Batman Damned costume.
Right.
And I'm almost certain that it's got a little bit of a collar. And if not, we all know that the Damian Wayne Batman has a collar. There's definitely different versions of Batman that has a pronounced collar to the cape.
Right.
What makes it cool is that obviously it's shades of Dracula. We know Robert Pattinson. We know Robert Pattinson.
If you don't fucking say it right.
Obviously, we know Robert Pattinson to be the sexiest of the vampires.
He's known for that.
Strong, shiny, delicious. So now we're all the way up.
We're all the way up.
It's time to get some head. So let's talk that cowl.
So it's very leathery. You know, the one thing that I'm bummed about, but it's whatever at this point. Obviously, me and you both have always wanted just straight up white eyes. No protective lenses, anything like that. Like I said, it really does look very like leather, like it's made out of leather.
You know, it's definitely a little thinner, most definitely around the neck.
Right.
That's the thing you notice the most, and that's why I thought that it was a helmet and then like some sort of sleeve underneath.
Right.
Is because of how thin the neck was, which is dope. I mean, like I said, so far this costume looks like he's going to be able to move in it. Right. And that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
That's what I like.
That's what you need.
Even if the cowl allows for the movement, that doesn't mean it looks good, all creased up and crumpled up when his head's turned to the side.
Right.
With this new costume, it looks like it's an upgrade.
Right.
One thing that we do not see in this reveal.
But I want to start this one off.
All right. I want you to go home. You know, get the fuck out of here, dude.
I'm going to go ahead and leave.
Do it from the car. All right, give me a call.
So here's one thing that I don't know if I've cracked it just yet. So, you know, when we got Ben Affleck, when we saw the very first picture of him as Batman, the first thing we noticed was we are not getting the long ears.
Yeah.
We're getting the short ears. Short
boys.
Very fucking sick. One thing that we weren't shown 100% were the bat ears. Here is something that it's just been digging at me, dude. Mm-hmm. It's been digging at me. I think I'm wrong. I think we might be getting the Detective Comic ears, like the OG Batman costume that are like convexing out, like they're out more. They're not just straight up, like they're pushed out. When he's coming into focus of the camera, you can see the top of his cowl. Mm-hmm. Like it's only for like a split fucking second that you can see the ears.
So you think we're gonna get the bat ears?
If you look, it almost looks like we're getting the actual like bat ears, dude. I don't know though. Sometimes when I go back and look at it, I'm like, no, they look pretty straight up. But sometimes it looks like they're pointing outward. And dude, that would be really crazy if they did that.
I mean, it definitely seems like they're intentionally hiding the ears.
Well, exactly, and that's my point.
So let's talk about the eyes real quick. Let's talk about a few other very important details before we move on.
Okay.
All right, number one, like you mentioned before, the eyes. Yeah, Batman should have fucking lenses on his goddamn cowl.
He should.
Batman should have lenses on his fucking mask. It makes sense. You know, it protects his eyes. It'll be able to bring up a HUD display. It makes perfect sense.
It does.
We've seen it in Deadpool. We've seen it in the Black Panther. heroes are out here with white eyes.
It
And
just
the fact that Batman is going to be the last one on the train, hopefully, maybe that's something that they change. Maybe it's something that, comes down over his eyes when he's fighting, when he's active,
Right.
when he's
like you were
actively
saying,
superhero.
maybe there's something a little bit more underneath.
Even though we're taking in consideration the technology of the time, it's
Right.
not 1960s Batman. Like,
Right.
He should be able to have fucking
White eyes.
retractable
Yeah,
lenses.
it's not going to be that hard to put in.
And then also, obviously, the most important detail of all when we're looking at Batman from the tits up is
The chin.
the chin, the bat chin.
The most important part.
One thing that made Ben Affleck a great decision
Perfect.
is he had that big, meaty, pussy-busting chin.
Dude, it was perfect.
So obviously, when they revealed that it was going to be
Robert Pattinson.
obviously, when they revealed that it was going to be Patrick Robertson, obviously, we're like, we can deal with that.
We can.
I like his look for these reasons. Number one, solid bat chin.
Very solid. Like, dude, in the costume reel, it's there. Like, the chin is fucking there, dude.
Dude, it's all the way there.
And it looks perfect, dude. It looks really good.
Number two, he looks like he's been punched in the face a bunch.
Right.
His face definitely is far from perfectly symmetrical.
Right.
And also, he looks like he could play both parties in like whatever cuck sesh. Bruce Wayne has the psyche that not only would he fuck your wife in front of you, but he would let you fuck his wife in front of him.
Right.
And that's an important
It's
part
very,
of being
very,
Bruce Wayne.
that's a very important Bruce Wayne.
Who knows?
It doesn't matter.
Will Batman get cucked? And the Batman? Or will the Gewog come suck his dick in the dead of the night? Gewog slipping in your room at night.
I hope everyone understands that we also have a PSA here that you need to watch out for the Gewog.
Yeah, so we all know the legend of the Gewog. Appalachian spirit comes in the middle of the night, sucks your dick. If you wake up while you're getting your dick sucked,
You will fucking die.
So the only way to survive, and only a few people have survived,
It's very few.
the Gewog. If you wake up, you gotta pretend like you're asleep until you fall asleep. Until
Let the old dick suck take you back to sleep.
yeah, just
Enjoy it.
You just gotta go.
At that point, yeah, you just have
just
to
gotta
enjoy
enjoy
it.
it.
The Gewog's terrifying, though.
You just gotta wait for the pesky sun to come save your dick. That's when the Gewog dissipates back into its shadowy lair.
Goes right the fuck back home.
He walks on dicks.
He's a dick walker.
Yeah, like
but he's also a dick sucker.
Everywhere the Gewog steps, like a fucking patch of dicks grow out of the ground, and he steps down.
I did not know about
Yeah.
that fact. So he gets scarier every day.
Will the Gewog be the featured villain in the Batman? See, we're not going to go on, and we're not going to talk about the Batman, okay?
The Batman.
We know that there's certain characters. We know that there's a few ideas of what this movie's going to be. We don't give a fuck. We're only talking about this costume.
We
if
just
you want
wanna
to know
know.
about this costume, add us, email us, send us a letter, come visit us in Colorado.
Fucking hit me up on my
If you-
pager.
If you live in Colorado, we'll see you at Marcos. If not,
We will definitely see you at Marcos. That's on God.
if it's below 30 degrees, he's not open.
We're staying the fuck home.
All right, so Batman.
He's in it for sure. And the costume. Overall, what would you give this costume? What rating would you give this costume?
An 8 out of 10. I'll give it 1.5 murdered parents out of 2 murdered parents.
That's a good one. I like that one too. But yeah,
So-
I definitely would give it an 8 out of 10 as well.
So, Doctor Strange, D. Strange, the second.
D Strange.
What do we know about DS2? What do
So-
we know about Doctor Strange 2?
So-
what do we know about
You
Doctor
better
Strange?
stop fucking asking me right now. So what we do know, the most horrible part about it, at least for me, is that we lost the director of the first Doctor Strange, who was returning to direct Doctor Strange 2.
Was he the director for Doctor Strange 1?
Yes, he was.
I did
Scott
not know
Derrickson. So he parted ways because of the usual creative differences. I don't know if it was because they wanted to make it a horror movie, and it seemed like more and more as time went on, they kept shying away from calling it like a horror movie. They kept kind of like playing it down. Like they were like, yeah, I mean, it's got some horror parts to
Yeah.
it, but it's not really. But the most important part of this right now is that apparently we might be getting Sam Raimi himself for the directing role of Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness.
Samuel Raimi himself.
Samuel Raimi himself.
Sir Samuel Raimi.
And for, like you said, people living under a rock, you just haven't been doing anything for a while. Sam Raimi directed the first trilogy of Spider-Man.
People will make the argument that it was Blade that was the first proper comic book movie within like the last couple of decades, but we all know it was Spider-Man.
It was the one that at least got us all intrigued into seeing more superheroes on the big screen.
Sam Raimi, also a famous horror director.
Famous.
Him and the original Doctor Strange director have been known to pal around.
Right.
They're homies. It's no big deal.
No,
you know, I mean,
not at all.
you know, all those horror dudes hang out together. They just
Of course.
hang out and they just tell ghost stories and they just try to spook each other.
Just get a big old spook out of each other.
Just a big old spook fest.
So at least I know that you're not a big horror guy. I love horror movies.
Yeah, I didn't see. I mean, I know that Kevin Derrickson.
It's Scott.
And so we know Sam Raimi to be a horror guy as well, famous for the original Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Darkman, Army of Madness, Spider-Man, and Spider-Man 2, Army of Peter Parkness.
Spider 2, man. Back to the
Army of
Spider-Man.
Spiders. So yeah, he's been in it. He's been in it. He's been with us. He's been with us from the beginning.
He's been a part of
Sam
us.
Raimi has been inside us all along.
All along.
That's the moral of the story.
So
Let me ask you a fucking question.
yeah, ask me a question.
Here I am. So this is what everybody wants to hear us talk about.
Right.
So we have Sam Raimi, the director of the original Spider-Man trilogy,
Yes, sir.
directing a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie that just so happens to deal with the multiverse. Are we going to see a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in a cameo, in a scene, for any reason, written into the movie?
I actually didn't know you were gonna go with that. That's that would be crazy. That would be nuts. I mean, it would be fun. You know what I mean? It'd be a fun little Easter egg.
And I know a lot of people want to see Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man in that movie.
Dude, everybody. There's not one person that does not.
Oh.
I would be very excited to see that. I think that would be cool. I mean, like I said, and they probably wouldn't do anything extravagant with it, like actually show him swinging around. You know what I mean? It's more. I feel like it'd be more of like just a Peter Parker cameo.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it would be so short, and this is the reason why. All right, because like I said, you think this is the perfect opportunity. You have Sam Raimi directing an MCU movie that deals specifically with the multiverse. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
Well, number one, the contract that Marvel has with Sony might not include any other Spider-Man but Tom Holland.
Right.
It might be Tom Holland specifically has a contract for this many shared
That's it.
movies. So if they did decide to do this, I'm sure Sony's going to be like, you're going to
Yeah,
have to
let's-
pay up.
right.
Like, let me see that money.
Exactly.
Show me that fucking Disney money.
Let's get it.
But that's going to be a huge banking point when it comes to their Spider-Verse sequel, is that their ability to bring Tobey Maguire and have him meet Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland.
That's what everybody
So
wants.
they're not going to let Marvel do it first.
Right.
Guaranteed.
Right.
Even if Marvel's like, dude, we'll give you a big chunk of what? And I think that's definitely going to be a big persuading point when it comes to Sony deciding to opt out of any sort of inclusion of Tobey Maguire in the MCU.
So would you rather see it in the Into the Spider-Verse sequel first, or would you rather see it in Doctor Strange 2 first?
Dude, I don't know. I can't tell you. That's impossible.
Because both are very exciting to think about.
I would rather see it in the Into the Spider-Verse sequel just because I'm guessing that it would be more involved. It wouldn't just be cameos. They would be, part of the story.
I would agree with you.
Now, that being said, that even if we don't get a Spider-Man cameo, even if we don't get a Peter Parker cameo, if we don't get a Tobey Maguire cameo, will we have a Bruce cameo?
Now that would be...
See, here's the thing, is that we know we're going to get a fucking Bruce cameo.
We have, I mean,
we
obviously.
Know it. If Sam Raimi decided to direct a fucking relative's wedding video, like Bruce Campbell's making a cameo.
He's going to be in there.
Do you have any sort of guesses of what the Bruce cameo could be?
I mean, if anything, I really just want to see him as what would you call that he did in Spider-Man 2? The doorman?
Bruce Campbell always said, he was like, this is before the MCU was even a whisper in my sweet little tender ear. He used to say, I'm the most powerful character in the Spider-Man movies. And they would be like, what do you mean? How so? Please tell us. Brucey boy.
Brucey boy.
And he would say, well, I was the one who gave Spider-Man his name.
He did.
Because remember, he was like, I'm the human spider. He was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
And in the second movie, I was the only one to stop Spider-Man dead in his tracks.
Right.
And that's when she was like, but did she ask you to come late?
Right.
And then in the third movie, he says, in the third movie, I rename him.
Does he?
Yeah, because remember,
it's been a while since I've watched the third one.
Because he's like, because he's that French,
French
waiter,
Is that the very
French
end?
usher.
Yeah.
In that scene,
Oh, no,
he
yeah,
goes
yeah.
up
I got
and he's
you, I
like,
got you.
Tobey Maguire says, I got reservations.
Yeah.
For Peter Parker, and he's like, Peter Pekka.
I do remember that.
So
now.
yeah, Bruce Campbell. He named Spider-Man, the only one to stop Spider-Man dead in his tracks,
and then renamed
Spider-Man.
Dude, that's crazy to think about.
So we're definitely gonna have a Bruce Campbell cameo. What's this cameo gonna be? People are gonna be like, well, is it gonna be Mysterio? Because originally, I guess there's that theory that he was
supposed to
be Mysterio.
Right.
If Sony decided to let them use Mysterio for this movie,
that's a tough question,
dude. Here, Sit on my lap for a second. Come over here.
All right, hold on. Guys, hold on a second. All right. Okay.
Okay, so Marvel Zombies.
Yes,
we know that they're going to put forth a little bit of effort to tie in like the Marvel Zombies, quote unquote, maybe within their What If universe. We've seen Zombie Cap. That can mean anything.
Right.
I mean, World War II and zombies go fucking hand in hand.
Right.
Always have.
Yep.
Comic book that probably popped off about 12 or 13 years ago. Ash versus Marvel Zombies.
You're making me angry right now.
What if Doctor Strange is skipping through dimensions?
Dude.
Just for a fucking scene, Doctor Strange stumbles into a reality through a portal. You see, everyone's zombies. You see a couple of zombified Marvel heroes, and you see Ash in the back with a chainsaw.
I'm pissed right now. That's probably the coolest theory I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
This movie was always marketed as a pseudo-horror movie.
Right.
MCU's first horror movie.
Right.
How do we know that wasn't always the plan, to involve Marvel Zombies?
Exactly. That makes sense, because obviously, people keep saying that it seems like as time went on, they kept shying away from the horror movie trope for this movie, but we just got one of the biggest horror movie directors.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2 us.
Right.
So who knows? Maybe that was the plan all along, but that would definitely be a crucial cameo.
Dude, that just blew my fucking mind a little bit.
So like back in the day when they initially published these Ash versus Marvel Zombies.
Right.
I think it might have even been in the first or second issue. So at the end of the issue, Ash gets his head bitten in half by zombie Howard the Duck. And then in the next issue, another Ash from another dimension comes and takes his place.
Right.
He's just like, who's this handsome man? Dead as fuck, half a head, but boy.
If Sam Raimi does anything else, I'd be kind of pissed at this point.
So if you had to have Bruce Campbell as a certain big-dicked Marvel character, who would it be?
So I'm thinking Wonder Man would definitely. I feel like he could definitely look that part.
That would be sick. Let me fix your bed real quick, Jacob.
Yeah. Get me off your fucking lap and get me into bed.
So the thing about Simon Williams' Wonder Man is that they used, initially in the comic books, they used his brainwaves to create the Vision. So what if that's how they bring the Vision back?
That'd be pretty cool.
We know that Doctor Strange 2 is also going to involve the Scarlet Witch.
And that was what I was getting to next. Because this WandaVision obviously seems like it's Wanda not really going crazy, but kind of putting herself in the situation she's always wanted to be in. But it's kind of just going through different TV sitcom eras. Mm-hmm. So I was reading something to where, so the Vision's mind is also kind of, it's obviously like a file. So they were saying how Wanda might be able to like go into like the Mind Stone and kind of find just his like wavelengths of his mind and kind of like go inside of it. Which sounds kind of weird now, but...
Well, we don't have the Mind Stone anymore.
We don't, right.
So we don't have the Mind Stone, but what we do have is that one thing that he says before he dies is that, like, you can't hurt me, all I feel is you.
Right.
Well, maybe he did somehow meld into her psionic
And she
abilities.
already is made by an Infinity Stone.
And not to mention that, like, her powers, even though they don't really involve it as much anymore, the Scarlet Witch in the MCU also has telepathic powers on top of telekinesis.
Right.
Initially, they were just playing with the idea of her having reality warping abilities.
Right.
Just by warping other people's perceived reality, making them see shit.
That was the first thing we
making them feel
saw.
shit, and we haven't really seen it since.
We haven't.
But we also know that the MCU now is a very different landscape than it was back then. Like
right.
Now they're pulling out all the stops. They're including everything. They're doing.
They're
whatever.
going for it.
So maybe it starts out with she just is under the impression that she's creating this alternate reality in her head.
Exactly.
And then somehow it starts to bleed out into the real world. And that's when they realize that not only does she have the ability to warp other people's perceived realities, but
she can also change
reality
other
itself.
people's. Right.
Yeah, like the actual fabric of reality, of the universe.
And who other than to be able to help with that situation is Doctor Strange? Because obviously we know now that WandaVision is going to go directly into Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be the first time that Wanda Maximoff has had to go to Doctor Strange.
Right.
But her magic is very different magic.
Very different.
In the comic books, they often call it chaos magic. Mm-hmm. And there's times where like Doctor Strange has been like, that's not a thing. Especially in Disassembled, Avengers Disassembled, when all these things start happening, and Doctor Strange just shows up, he was like, listen, I'm pretty sure that Wanda is the cause of all these shitty things happening to everyone. And all these wild things happening without explanation.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, she's trying to get a handle over chaos magics, or she was saying something about the chaos magics, and then Doctor Strange is like, yo,
nah.
I've been the master of the mystic arts for a fucking grip.
And that shit ain't.
For a grip and a tip. And I'm telling you what, there's nothing called chaos magic.
That shit ain't fucking existing.
I don't know if her magic comes from like a different reality and she like summons it, and I might just be thinking of Cyclops, but like, you think of Cyclops, what powers does he have? He has laser vision, essentially. Right. He can generate a concussive blast from his eyes.
Right.
But in reality, his power is that his eyes are portals to a different dimension that's completely made out of kinetic energy.
Which is fucking crazy to think about. Can we say that about this Wanda Maximoff? Just because, like I said, her magic essentially is coming from an Infinity Stone.
Yeah, which stone was that? It was the Mind Stone, wasn't it? Because they had the scepter.
Yes, yeah. So it would have been the Mind Stone.
So
right. It's hard to tell. Like, is she gonna be able to? Is she getting new powers from somewhere else, or is she just like learning new shit from her already implanted abilities?
She's constantly getting stronger.
Right. Exactly. Every movie we've seen, it seems like she's getting stronger and stronger. Like, people are saying that in Endgame, she literally could have killed.
Oh yeah,
Thanos.
obviously.
Right.
She could have.
She literally could have just.
She could have been the one to
demolished
do it.
him. I think the coolest thing they could do is like what you were saying, how because I think everybody's on the same page with thinking that this is all happening in her mind. She's just imagining her being with Vision and just going through these eras.
Maybe it starts out with her just trying to like console herself, she's daydreaming. She's kind of constructing these elaborate illusions like within her head.
Right.
And then she comes across the Vision and she's like, oh shit, this is the Vision.
Right.
Well, maybe when the stones were destroyed, Vision's essence essentially was expelled into the universe.
I'm very with the theory of her kind of just playing around with thoughts in her mind, and she's almost like living in them. And like I said, but with what you were saying, how when the stone was destroyed, he could kind of float around and do whatever. Not really, but
and if not find her,
exactly.
If not find her, then she finds him.
Right, and then it just kind of molds together in her mind. And then, like you were saying, with Wanda, she's gonna fucking freak out.
And I'll be surprised if the Vision in the series is just a made-up Vision the whole time. We know that now he's back, and we know that I'm back.
You're all the way back, dude. You've been back.
I gotta crack this whip real quick.
Dude, crack it up.
So we know it does seem to take place, regardless of how they do it, episode by episode, scene by scene. Who knows? We don't know the format of the show. We don't know if one episode's going to be
like
based
one
off
era, the next one, the next,
or the next couple. We don't know.
Which I hope that's what
or
it's
it could be like all 4 or 5 like each episode.
Right.
And I see everyone like, oh, this set is obviously the exact set from Family Matters, or this is influenced by the Brady Bunch, or this era signifies this Roseanne, such and such. Everyone is always on about her quote-unquote comic accurate costume, but I have not read or seen or heard anyone say that that's their interpretation of Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie, because obviously that's not a superhero costume.
It's not.
But it looks like a super cheesy Lycra
just
Jeannie
like
costume from the 60s.
Right.
Her version of Bewitched is her as the
actual
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, right.
Call me Scarlet Witch.
Exactly.
Like I'm your sexy witch lover.
Which would be so sick. And like I said, dude, the first day that came out, we saw like a very quick glimpse of it. And I sat there and I'm like trying to like fast forward scroll through it to find it, and like
it's
wild. It's crazy.
And it looks
looking.
good. Now, real quick to just tie a knot on WandaVision before we talk about what we really want to talk about, or what I really want to talk about in regards to the rest of the Disney Plus reveal. The kids, the twins.
Right.
All right. So we have Billy and Tommy. One is a magic user,
and the one is
a speedster. I'm almost sure that Billy's the wizard.
Billy's Wiccan.
So the thing about Wiccan is that he can only conjure a spell a certain way one time. So when he wants to do something, he just like repeats it, and then it like highlights in like blue lettering in the comic books. So if he wants to do a similar spell again, he's got to like change up the phrasing.
Okay.
He's got to switch up his bars.
Yeah, he's got to spit.
So WandaVision, title of the show.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious that first name Wanda, last name Vision, and that's like
the
name.
You think okay.
Because in the trailer she answers the phone and she says, "Yo, what up? It's the RZA, it's the RZA, it's the Jizza, Ghostface Killer." No, she
Inspector
says
Deck.
she says hello, Vision Resonance when she answers the phone.
Oh, gotcha.
Dude, you're looking good right now.
Stop.
You're looking
What
so
the fuck?
fucking
You
good.
better get the fuck out of here. Get out of
It's
my room.
it's a little hot in here. You know,
Dude,
we got everything turned off.
Yeah.
So the Disney Plus trailer actually starts out with a scene just kind of widening out from top to bottom,
Which
and
looked
it's-
really, dude.
and it was the
very sick.
shield stuck into a tree.
Right.
Now you know my issue. Where the fuck did this shield come from?
Right.
Because Captain America went back in time, didn't have a shield. Regardless if it's the theory that he existed in the existing Marvel universe,
Which
Marvel Cinematic Universe,
I'm all for. I'm
then
all about
obviously he wouldn't have a shield because that Cap has a shield.
Right.
That Cap all the way up until Endgame has his shield.
Exactly.
So, and if he went back and existed in a branch timeline and then just jumped back over for that moment, then
he would
still,
have to
where
fucking
did he
get a
get that
shield.
shield? Because he
Exactly.
didn't leave with one.
Right.
And we can tell by the shield that it's definitely a different design. The star's broken up in ways that it wasn't in the past.
Oh, I fucking hate that design so much.
It's got those rivets like along the stripes.
Yeah.
And we see later on in that trailer that the U.S. agent has that very shield.
Exactly.
So we can only assume that they go and steal that shield.
I was gonna say,
from
did they
Falcon.
steal it?
But at that point, it's like Falcon's gonna be like, "Yo, this is a different shield. You just can't take this from me."
Right.
So who knows? Will we get the history of this new shield in this series? Maybe. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I would like it if they would explain it, but you know how it fucking goes. I'm not a huge fan of the new design. I think I don't like you always say, it's just too fucking busy, man. Just give it the stripes, give it the fucking star, and just leave me alone. Whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
It still looks fucking
Yeah.
sick. Dude, he looked fucking so sweet throwing that shield.
Yeah.
Like that dude, he looked fucking nuts throwing
He
that
does
shield.
that like barrel roll.
Yeah, dude, like looked so fucking cool. So that was really dope. We obviously see the return of Zemo. Mm-hmm. We see the return of Bucky Barnes. A little shorter haircut.
Yeah. With the Bucky hair.
The Bucky hair. Don't let me forget, we did see some concept art, some promo images, I guess, if you will, a couple months ago of them in like straight up costume.
Yeah.
And we see Falcon in like straight up white and fucking red.
Yeah, you see Falcon in his costume in this trailer for a
In-
split second.
In the trailer?
Yeah, like when he's flying through that canyon, he's wearing his red and white costume.
I thought he was wearing the gray and red.
Nope. He's wearing the straight up red and white shit. But you only see it for a second.
Weird. I did
Yeah.
not. Dude, that's weird. I'll have to go back and watch that. But the concept art or promo art, whatever you want to call it, it looked fucking awesome.
And that's, ripped out of the comic books, obviously, his OG costume. Well, his OG is like yellow and green or some shit. But
Right.
throughout the majority of his prominent existence in the comic continuity, he's got that red and white costume. Sometimes
Exactly.
it's goofier, sometimes it's real dope.
Yeah.
Like I think there was a Heroes for Hire run that was done, 5 or 6, 7, 10, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14,
Couple
15
days
years
ago.
ago.
Right.
And his costume was that red and white design, but it was like
More like sleek.
tactical and it
Right.
looked sick.
It wasn't just like a straight up like spandex costume.
U.S.
Yeah.
agent's costume, I could take it or leave it. It looks
Yeah,
whatever.
it's,
I know some people are like real pumped for it, and I'm just like, it's okay at best.
It's not that great. I mean, it's cool. It's whatever. But I mean, why? Like, is it really that hard to just not make it fucking black?
They want him to be Captain America,
Right. I mean, yeah, that makes sense, and that's just how they're gonna.
So,
implement
and
that
they
into
might
the-
even change his costume.
Talking about Hot Toys here, if anybody knows about that, they came out with a concept art Captain America Hot Toys figure, and it was all black, and it had like the Avengers A on like the top left of his chest area, and so it's like I don't know, I think it wouldn't have been a problem if they would have made it all black.
Well, that's when
the red and
That's when Captain America was trying not to be Captain America.
Right.
The original U.S. agent costume is a Captain America costume.
Yeah.
And that's him as the captain.
Gotcha.
But John Walker, the original U.S. agent, I'm pretty sure existed prior to as like a version of Captain America. So they might initially have him as a government subsidized, a government sanctioned version of Captain America.
They want
where
a
he's
Captain
wearing
America,
the blue,
right?
And he's wearing the red and the white. Now, obviously, the parallels between this new Captain America costume and the U.S. agent costume is the horizontal stripes going across his chest
Instead
not
of up and down. Right.
the abdomen. John Walker's a very complicated character. He's a bad guy. He's a good guy. He's done a lot of cool stuff in the comic books, and he's also done a lot of dumb stuff in the comic books.
Right.
Obviously, his presence in the trailer is probably the least out of everyone.
You don't see a lot of them.
You don't. Yeah, you only
literally
see him from the back.
back.
Yeah,
That's it.
By any means, God forbid, fucking the Falcon becomes Captain America in this goddamn series.
Right. Yes, and I mean, if you think about it, like I said, WandaVision's kind of bleeding into Doctor Strange 2. This might bleed into something else after this, to where we're gonna see a movie that's just straight up Falcon as Captain America.
That would be sick.
You know what I mean?
My best guess, young man, would be that if the next movie, regardless if it be exactly this movie, but if the next movie after the series or the next movie we see Falcon in, if it so happens to be the quote-unquote new Avengers, then he'll be Cap.
Oh, dude, for sure.
So this might be his evolution into the Captain America role, and I think that people would appreciate that more. They would rather see him become Captain America than just he's Captain America in the next movie.
Right, exactly. We want to see a build-up to it.
You know, he's training with the Shield. He's getting all these World War II war stories from Bucky.
Because we don't see a 100% down with becoming Captain America at the end of Endgame. Like, he seems a little hesitant about it. He's like, are you sure you want me to have this? You know what I mean?
For sure.
We definitely need to see a little bit more of a forthcoming of Sam.
Yeah, we need to see more of his doubt. We need to see, like, the persistence that he really needs to tap into to be Captain America.
Exactly. He needs to get in that mindset.
Let's just cap off this Falcon and Winter Soldier conversation with just a few little plot points. All right? Will he die? Yes. All right. So we already talked about how their balls have grown a little bit. They're willing to make people's powers and abilities closer to their comic book counterparts. Will we get Falcon talking to birds, seeing through their eyes, controlling them telepathically?
I'm going to say no. I'm gonna give that a hard pass, if you will.
Who knows what anything can happen at this point. Anything
it's
can
2020,
happen
dude. We're like when you say that, like, we're going more towards like comic accurate, like, we're really doing that now.
I mean,
for the most part. But now, dude, we're just going for it. Like,
who knows?
We don't give a fuck anymore. What if it really is in WandaVision, where like part of her doing this and, like you were saying, bleeding out, is like her almost like her giving people powers. You know what I mean? Instead of like killing a bunch of mutants, they kind of twist it into a way to create mutants.
Yeah, instead of no more mutants, just mutants.
I need more fucking mutants.
more mutants.
Please.
I know it's goofy when, you see him talking to birds sometimes, but like the thing about the Falcon that makes him cool is that, like, when you're in the fucking city, my dude, you can't hide from them because there's pigeons everywhere.
Right.
And, like, it's fucking terrifying when you're being chased by a flock of pigeons, or, like, you have all these birds following you. They know exactly where you are. And then you're running down this alley and you see the fucking Falcon just perched up on, like, a telephone pole. Which, that's scary as shit.
Would fucking terrifying.
So that's about everything that we can really tackle when it comes to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, there wasn't really much any kind of like like a thick plot details to really help us out with anything.
We could break the trailer down, but I mean, who gives a fuck? Go watch it. You've seen it. You don't need us to tell you what happened.
Get on your fucking computer and just watch it.
Get on. Do it right now. Come over here. Use our computer. Use Jacob's computer if you have to.
Here's our address.
You also see Loki. Let's move on. You see Loki, he's wearing some sort of time prison outfit, big deal.
Dude, I've been a time cop before.
Dude, I've been a time prisoner before.
That's horrifying yet sexy.
So what's next, my friend?
Is there a next?
Let me get a sniff from you. I'm going to sound check the sniff. All right, 2 more. And then the other side. And then one on your shirt. Oh, man, that one sounded fucking sick.
Good. That was a really good one.
All right, so let's talk about the new Sony, in association with Marvel, feature film, Morbius the Living Vampire.
The only living vampire.
Do you think they call their grandfathers grandpires?
I really hope so.
Oh, shit. Uh-oh.
There's one in the hallway, though. There's a best friend vampire in the hallway.
We got one here.
Got one right now.
Which one is that?
That's Quentin, obviously.
Baby, where's your son right now? Is he in there with you? The little one? No, he's on the other side of the room. He's got a knife. He's got the ancient blade. He's got the ancient blade of the Hoffmans, made from the finest German steel, quenched in sausage oil. So Morbius the Living Vampire. Mm-hmm. All right, pretty questionable at best, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's whatever. He's whatever. I've never really cared about him, so it's whatever.
Yeah, the trailer looks kind of generic, kind of boring,
It's just whatever.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a superhero trailer that starts with a note-by-note little piano composition. Something eerie, something slow, something familiar. That's what sets the tone, man. That's what gets me in.
Right.
Gets me ready.
Gets me just real ready.
See this face I'm making right now?
Jesus, you look way too fucking ready.
It gets me there.
Right.
It gets me off.
I like it.
It puts me on.
It puts me out. It puts me right to bed. It takes me to bed and not just tucks me right in.
It wakes me up.
Yeah.
It puts me down for good.
for fucking good.
Are there any things in the trailer that stood out to you?
The only one, just because I didn't know if this was something he was actually able to do in the comics or just for anything he's ever been in. We got sort of a very Bamf-like Nightcrawler power of him kind of just, poofing around.
So yeah, my theory about that is because if you've paid attention to earlier on in the trailer, when he catches that ball, it kind of emits that same smoky effect. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, and this is because either right before or right after those scenes take place, he's kind of talking about how he's gained some sort of like sonar capabilities, some sort of echolocation. There's actually a condition called synesthesia or synesthesia. There's actually a condition, I just said the same thing twice. There's actually a condition called synesthesia where you attribute colors and tones to certain notes.
Sounds?
Like you hear an A minor and you see like a maroon color. You hear a G, you see like a green color. You hear a D, you see a blue color. Especially people with perfect pitch. So a lot of people who describe having this condition, who experience this synesthesia, they'll tell you that one informs the other. That they can tell you the note that they hear because they can see the color. What leads me to believe that it's some sort of spin off of this condition is because you see it in the ball earlier on in the trailer once it's smacking his hand and making that sound. And of course, the smoke emitting from it is the red color of the ball. And then later on, when you see him in that hallway, the smoke is purple, like the underside of his jacket.
Right.
But only when his jacket's flapping around because he's jumping through the air.
Right, and it's just emitting the sound.
So I think that that's kind of like their play on sonar.
Which would be really cool. I mean, that would... Because when we first saw that, we immediately were like, oh, cool, he's, just doing the Bamf thing, like Nightcrawler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, you don't really see...
You don't see him teleporting.
Yeah, you don't see him
the
teleporting.
Smoke. Right, exactly.
And because when he's initially talking about it, he's explaining that he has super speed. Mm-hmm. So, and then I think it's just him catching the ball.
Right.
The ball shooting through the air, and he's zipping over to catch it.
Right.
So I don't think they would give him any sort of extra abilities, especially ones like
that's just
teleporting.
right, exactly.
So yeah, that's what I kind of got from that, and I'm
down with that.
Yeah, I mean, we can hope for that, but I can't say that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, but I mean, that I feel like that's something they would definitely do. I mean, especially when you're making a movie about a fucking vampire.
Yeah, it would make sense.
It would make complete sense.
The trailer was whatever. The trailer is not worth talking about.
It's really not.
It could literally be any other trailer with a few scenes swapped out. Of course, you see him sick. You see him in some sort of Greek Orthodox school or hospital or learning facility. You see him get powers. You see him look hot. You see him get strong. And then you see him, get his vampire on.
Right. So what do you think about his look as Morbius?
I mean, from that little over the shoulder looking back at it for that split second, I mean, he looked like Morbius the living vampire.
Yeah, he looked pretty dope.
All right, so we've discussed the questionable Bamfine. Now, what else has stood out in this trailer?
So, the one thing that obviously is standing out to everyone is that we're getting little hints of this being connected to the Spider-Man universe. Well, the MCU possibly, or maybe just Sony is doing their own little Spider-Man kind of tease, like in their own little universe. Like they're just showing pictures of Spider-Man. One thing we saw pretty recently is he was on the back of a truck. It was like a sticker, just something, slapped like on the truck,
like a banner on a kiosk or something. I did see a glimpse of it.
So it says, "Where is Spider-Man?" And we all know at the end of Far From Home, they revealed to the whole world that Spider-Man was Peter Parker.
Absolutely.
So is this an actual tie-in to the ending of Far From Home? And maybe Peter Parker, we find out, is just kind of like not being Spider-Man for a while, because obviously everyone would be freaking out. It'd be like paparazzi every day for him.
Who knows, man?
It's been a big toss-up. I mean, there's been a lot of things happening with Spider-Man and the MCU and all that in the past few months.
So, the thing about it is that, once again, Sony could just be implementing their ability to utilize characters that are now popularized by the fact that they were in MCU movies.
Right.
That doesn't mean the story has to tie directly in the MCU. Mm-hmm. So far, we've accepted it as a fuck-up that they used the Tobey Maguire PS4 image for the poster on that alleyway wall. And obviously that one says murderer.
Right.
Which kind of implies that it's connected to Far From Home once again. But who knows?
Right.
We've seen all the speculations. We won't even elaborate on the fact that people are like, maybe it's in this Spider-Man universe. Maybe it's in this Spider-Man universe. I've so far seen a theory that the reason that poster is on the wall in that movie is because that game exists in that movie.
Universe. Right. But let's get to the one thing that really does give us the biggest amount of hope that it takes place within the Tom Holland, the MCU, basically, is at the very end of the trailer, we see Michael Keaton.
So first of all, we don't know that he's actually playing the Vulture.
We don't know. That would be the most ridiculous thing in the world if they literally were just like, here's some random fucking person that Michael Keaton's playing.
The only way you would have him in the movie and not promote that he's in the movie is if you were trying to keep it a secret.
Exactly.
Or use it for promotional value. They wouldn't cast and or pay Michael Keaton for the better part of a movie and not promote it. So him not being promoted as a character only means that he's not a character.
Right.
So you wouldn't put him in the movie unless his actual appearance meant something.
Was a bigger role in the movie. Exactly.
And if they were to say, hey, JK, this is some other dude, he's actually playing the janitor or someone's uncle,
right,
then that would just be a dick move.
That's not something you're going to do.
People would sign off.
Yeah, that would
sure.
be the most ridiculous thing.
As far as I know, it hasn't been given the go-ahead by Kevin Feige that, yeah, this is a MCU film.
Right.
This takes place in the MCU. I haven't read, I haven't seen shit.
No, we have not. But they're just giving us little hints. And that's what's fun because, in the past few months, like I was saying, we've been going through a lot of things that are dealing with Spider-Man and the MCU.
Exactly. They're doing a lot, it seems.
It's just funny because, everybody, when Venom 1 was coming out, everyone was just like, okay, is Tom Holland going to be in this? Is there going to be a Spider-Man in this? And we didn't get it.
I was certain. But
we were all pretty certain.
But since then, they've definitely been playing this weird game of chess back and forth.
I think since we finally know now that Tom Holland is officially back in the MCU, I feel like hopefully they're trying to please fans and trying to interconnect both the Sonyverse and the MCU. If anything, if they're cutting a deal and Marvel's, trying to be, weird about it, Sony's going to be like, listen, we just want both of our universes interconnected.
And not to mention the fact that, of course, the new Doctor Strange movie is about tying realities together. That's what we can assume, because what we didn't mention earlier is the fact that Kevin Feige has actually spoken to Patrick Stewart about coming back as Professor X.
And didn't Patrick Stewart, he wasn't
he
just
passed
like,
on
no,
it.
I'm good. Which I'm glad.
We can only assume that Kevin Feige isn't asking him to come back for a new series of films.
Right.
He wanted him as a Professor X cameo.
Right.
A crowd-pleasing cameo. You're only going to get that in the new Doctor Strange movie.
Right.
And we can speculate that because of that fact, Doctor Strange 2 is going to involve him jumping to realities and possibly tying a few together.
Right.
Introducing the X-Men, introducing possibly the Spider-Man characters.
Right.
So we don't know. Is it an MCU film?
We don't know.
Is it a vampire movie?
I think so.
Is it a Spider-Man movie?
It could be.
Will this be directly attached or connected to the Venom sequel?
Find out next time.
So, we got a little bit of everything in our pockets.
I think we're good. I think we can empty our pockets out right now and get through.
You really think?
River. Yeah.
Dude,
definitely.
It's super uncomfortable to drive like this. It's very uncomfortable to do a lot of things when you have so much shit in your pockets.
Right. You just got to get it the fuck out. I don't like having things in my pocket.
At all?
No, I mean, I like having a couple things. Just, at max 3.
See, the thing about having a good jacket is you have that breast pocket.
Those or whatever.
That's where I keep my wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't... It's where I keep my phone, too. Jacket's a good place to store your things. Chapstick.
I like my pants pockets.
Keys, knives,
yeah.
guns.
I can just, if I can fit my cards in my phone, I'm happy.
Packets of blood.
That's...
Speaking of blood, do we know if this movie's a rated R movie or not?
I don't think so. I think if anything, they're going to make a PG-13, especially if they're going to interconnect it with the universe.
I mean, in Endgame, you see Hawkeye slit someone's throat.
They definitely went for it in that. And it's funny because I'm pretty sure Disney has a no decapitating rule, and we saw Thanos get decapitated twice.
Yeah.
Not once, twice.
Oh, damn. So no head?
So no head. Are we going to cap this off? Are we...
How do you want to do it?
I think we should just do it the OG way.
You want to say goodbye?
Yeah, let's say goodbye.
Who do we miss from back home?
Everybody.
This episode goes out to Cody Toothman. This episode goes out to Jeremiah Goff. This episode goes out to Ryan Brungart.
This episode goes out to Josh Hall, Patrick Hall.
Are they related?
No, they're not.
You know that for a fact? Do they know that
No,
for a fact?
I've asked it pretty much every day that I see him.
So, shout out to Patrick Hall's podcast.
Pat potted it.
The Hall Pass.
Yeah. Hall Pass.
Yeah, so
dude, if Patrick and Josh made a podcast, could they please call? Wow, speak of the fucking devil.
Uh-oh.
Jesus. Weird.
put him on.
Yeah, I will. Hey,
Ask him if he's interested in an exclusive interview.
are you interested in an exclusive interview?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've only got one question for you.
Okay.
So I want to know, if you and Patrick were to make a podcast with you, just you two, would you call it the Hall Pass?
Fuck yeah, we would. That's incredible.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yep.
The Hall Pass is coming in 2020.
Yep, the Hype and Cowl extended universe.
Dude, it's gonna be great.
Ask him what he thinks about the Morbius trailer.
Hey, did you watch the Morbius trailer?
No, I'm about to though.
Okay, I wouldn't waste your time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and don't waste our time telling us what you think about it either.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. But yeah, I'm glad we got you on the segment for a minute.
Is he facing?
He's facing.
Let me see him. What up, big dog?
What up, dog?
Oh shit, there he is.
Crossover.
Yeah, you thought Infinity War was the most ambitious crossover.
Mm-hmm.
We out here.
We are out here. We were out there. We're in.
Now we're back in.
Yeah, now we're in.
Fucking wait.
Yeah.
Now we're in the fuck side.
Yeah. But yeah, can I call you back here in just a minute?
Yeah, dude.
We're almost done. All right, man. I'll talk tomorrow.
All right, talk about
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Patrick Hall, Josh Hall, the Hall Pass Podcast.
Coming 2020. So we got a lot of fun stuff in today.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun
I
stuff
think we
in.
definitely have enough stuff to say that we've recorded a functional episode this weekend.
Very much. It's all about functionality too here at the Hype and Cowl.
And it's all about fun.
We
And
love to have fun.
The thing that you listeners don't get to experience that we're experiencing right now is something called Hype and Cowl Live.
We're in front of a live audience.
You don't even know what's good until you've experienced the Hype and Cowl Live.
Right.
And there's only one way to experience it, and that's to
In my bedroom.
be a host, be a co-host, be the Gewog,
Be a ghost.
be the Gewog, be
Yeah.
a ghost. I guess, I mean, that's a brash statement that I just made because I guess Josh Hall just
He
experienced
just FaceTime. Yeah, he
Hype and
experienced
Cowl
it. He
Live.
knows.
Good on him.
Yeah, he's probably freaking out right
So
now.
if you need to know what it's like, give him a call,
Yeah, ask him.
and maybe he'll answer your FaceTime call on the Hall Pass podcast.
We're gonna be making a lot of appearances on that one.
On the Hype and Cowl Podcast Network. It's that net worth shit. You know what I mean?
we're trying to figure out everyone's net worth.
It's that net worth shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we making money. We're coming up.
Big bucks. What is your net worth?
At the moment,
Mm-hmm.
that's privileged information.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
classified.
We won't talk about it. Fucking pay us, Josh Hall. You owe us
Yeah.
like 10 grand right now.
What's another good name for their podcast?
Dude, the Hall Pass is fucking sick.
Hall
dude.
Pass.
Yeah, the Hall Pass is sick.
Name it. It's Hall Good Man.
It's all good. Yeah, that one's good. But yeah, Hall Pass is
For sure.
That's forever the sickest.
Dude, we should just do a segment on the Hype and Cowl where we do the Hall Pass podcast as Josh Hall and
Dude,
Patrick Hall.
That would be crazy.
I'll be Josh.
Right. I'll definitely be Patrick.
Dude, we
Yeah.
can trade off some
Oh,
weeks.
yeah.
It'll
Dude.
be fun.
That's coming 2020 as well.
We'll do commentaries and reviews as Matt and Josh.
We're actually going to do
We'll do commentaries and reviews as Pat and Josh.
right. But we're also going to do
Matt Hall, who is
I don't know.
Dude, that's our first Hall Pass episode.
Yeah,
Is we're gonna-
it was Matt Hall.
dude,
They
we'll
go
get
on a perilous journey to figure out who Matt
who the
Hall
fuck
is.
Matt Hall is. And then we just start seeing his name everywhere.
Right.
And like words start like scrambling and rearranging. It's like, oh shit. It was Pat Hall. It was Matt Hall the whole time.
Right. Dude, Pat Hall was Matt Hall the whole time.
Dude, I can't even begin to try to comprehend that.
Right. But is it the number fucking 13 all over again?
Dude, this is the number 23.
Or 23, yeah, whatever. Dude,
this-
the number. If there was if there was a movie called The Number 23, it's gonna be the mystery behind Dr. Pepper.
Dude, or the the funny thing about Dr. Pepper,
Is that it's fucking delicious? Because
Like-
it's hilarious how delicious it is.
yeah, the thing about Dr. Pepper is that it's 23 flavors, right?
Which is just bonkers.
Yeah, that's a wild amount of flavors into one beverage.
To
but,
become one flavor that's just perfect.
but you got to think about this.
You try to put 3 flavors together and you're just gonna fuck something up and it's gonna taste like dog shit.
Dude, Dr. Pepper,
Okay.
23 flavors, but they keep coming out with like Dr. Pepper cherry,
Cherry. So
or,
does that mean 24?
or Dr. Pepper vanilla. Like I always assumed that cherry and vanilla were
Were
just
in the
included
already
in
already
the
made
23
recipe. Right.
ingredient recipe. Maybe they're just amping up that flavor.
Right.
You know, maybe cherry already exists in DP. Maybe
the
vanilla
MCU.
already exists in DP, and they're just boosting up the DP,
The DPC.
blasting some DP.
All right. How many flavors does Mr. Pibb have?
I don't know. Probably less. Probably like 11.
Yeah. That's fine.
Have you ever had Pib Extra?
Yeah.
You know what makes Pib Extra Pib Extra?
They added the extra 12 flavors.
Yeah, they caught up.
Yeah,
they caught up to Dr. Pepper.
Finally caught up.
Actually, it stays carbonated longer.
I don't believe that.
That's a theory I have.
Oh, that's just a theory?
I left a Pib Extra out on my nightstand overnight,
And it's,
next morning
it was still crispy as
still
fuck.
popping, dude.
Yeah.
I heard it like it woke me up. I just heard the. But here's some real knowledge on you though. Dr. Pepper is actually more so a Jamaican jerk soda.
Ooh, that's
If you
that's
really
a fun, that's a fun way to put that. I like
If you
that.
really pay attention to the flavors and the ingredients,
That was my nickname in high school.
Jamaican jerk.
Jamaican jerk.
Yeah, mine was Jermaine me jerk.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So Jacob, I think that's well enough content to call this one. I mean, what's a good sign off? Give me one. Give me something. What do you like?
I hope you guys had fun. You're all beautiful. I love you. Come see me if you want.
Don't vote.
Just don't.
Don't do it.
Just get it.
You know
Get
better.
that shit out of here.
Just jot down your selection on a piece of paper, send it to Sean Cochran's apartment.
Throw it away.
He'll take it from there. So, Jacob, it was terrific having you in the Hype and Cowl studios.
Thank you. It was terrific having you.
We had a beautiful time. I appreciate you stopping by the studio this evening, even though the studio is
It's
technically
my
your
fucking
bedroom.
room. Yeah, right.
It's nice though. It smells nice. Feels real good.
Thanks. I
We should do
appreciate
this
that.
on your bed next time.
Oh, yeah. Like laying down.
Yeah, on top of one
Like-
another. So
We're going to have one mic in between both pillows.
So yeah, a quick message to the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna try to revitalize our Patreon for the 4th time.
Hopefully.
Maybe have some extra content on there for you.
Some sexy content.
Yeah, some hype and plow.
Yeah.
Hype in the house.
Yeah, we're going to do it at HGTV Hype and Cowl crossover. Or we just come kick you the fuck out, do a podcast in your house, redecorate, and then leave.
We should have a sign off though.
Yeah, we
What
can
should
do that.
what should it be?
I don't know. Just, hey, this is the Hype and Cowl. I fucking love you. See ya.
Tell me a secret. Tell me a secret. Where's it going? Tell me a secret.
The Gewog's coming for you tonight. Dude, what's the last fucking thing you hear when you see the fucking Gewog? Like, what does the Gewog sound like?
Friends and buttons.
Friends and buttons.